All right. Is that what you're going to say?
It's how I open them. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Anime Core. This time, episode 4. Anime Core episode 4.
So we're going to be done now because Jeremiah's making bad puns. Actually, it's rhymes. My bad.
Hey, you gotta have something. My name's Jeremiah.
And Megan.
And we will be your hosts on this magical anime adventure.
For better or worse, truly.
So I mean, this is episode 4. We've been doing this for a few weeks now, which is pretty cool.
We finally got another anime in our arsenal this week. Sorry.
Yeah, we're getting better at watching anime.
Because we're always like, oh, shoot, we should watch that. And then we get busy.
Yeah. I know we wanted to start Gorilla God's Go-To Girl.
Yeah.
Which is like 6 episodes. And we started it, but then we just didn't commit to it. So we need to sit down and do that one because it's just 6 episodes. We've been grinding Naruto.
Yeah, that's been taking up most of our time.
But
so
because like you gotta grind it. We got to the big reveal. Yeah, we got to the big reveal where you find out who the masked man is. So like now that you know that, and now that I'm not like suffering week in and week out, I feel like
you're suffering.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah. I feel for you.
So now we can watch more anime because it's open for us.
You know, at the start of Naruto, you were like, for every, 15 Naruto episodes, you have to watch an Apothecary Diaries episode?
Yeah, but there's like a time frame when you cash that in.
Yeah, so Apothecary Diaries is actually peak. Therefore,
I will
you need to start watching it.
But that's not what we're talking about to start. To start our episode, if you guys remember, we like to do a little introduction piece to help you get to know us a little bit. We've talked about our favorite anime. Mm-hmm. We've talked about our favorite white-haired characters. Last time, we just talked about the new Naruto Converse collab, which, I mean, like, why wouldn't you talk
I still have not ordered the Gara sneakers.
Yes, we will be getting those for Megan.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you wanted to.
Wait, does that mean you have to get the Akatsuki robe for Fan Expo? Is that the deal?
It can be. I'll work that in there. But this week, we would like to open this episode with talking about what anime world we would like to live in. So I've got like 7 of them listed out. I picked these 7 because I feel like they kind of capture the 7 different types of anime worlds.
I see that. I can see that, yeah.
And 2 of them definitely do cross over, so you like call me out for that. But the 2 that cross over are also drastically different, it feels like. So it's okay, I think. But feel free in the comments to mention any other anime worlds. Mm-hmm. I didn't include like Death Note, where it's like that's just Tokyo plus one piece of magic.
Quick question before we get into this.
Yes.
Is it what anime world would you live in or survive in?
I mean, that could be part of your answer. Like, you could definitely be like, I want this world. I know I'm not making it past season 2 of the anime. Yeah. But, like, I got to survive. I get to be in this world.
Yeah.
So, yeah, any other questions?
No, let's get into it.
Cool. So, the ones I have listed are Demon Slayer, to kind of get that feudal Japan, as well as, like, some action kind of in there. I see. That's why I didn't have Apothecary Diaries, because I feel like this kind of covers that era.
I want to say Apothecary Diaries is Imperial China.
Oh, is it China?
I think so. And God, if I'm wrong about this, I'm just a fake fan.
So I've got Demon Slayer.
Let me look this up.
Are you looking up the?
I'm looking it up because I don't want. Oh, I looked up apothecary location.
Nice. So now we know where a local apothecary is.
Yep. Ming era China.
Oh, it is Ming era China. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to throw it on this list? And it is a different culture.
I mean, I probably would not live there.
You wouldn't pick it.
TBH.
Okay. Well, it can be on the list.
Yeah.
You're just not picking it. Apothecary Diaries. JJK, and yes, that is like, it's just Tokyo, but it's like Tokyo and then
with
some kind of thing. And this is assuming you have like the powers in this world too, so you would have a curse technique.
How good is my curse technique?
You would be a sorcerer. I mean, we could roll
and
the dice.
Also,
we could get some dice out and roll.
Are the characters existing? Like, could we come across Tanjiro? Could we come across Gojo?
Depending. Because...
Oh, okay.
So I've got My Hero on here.
Yeah.
Because, again, it is urban, but superpowers.
Yeah.
I've got Naruto, which obviously Naruto is a whole other world.
Mm-hmm.
I have One Piece on here.
Yeah.
And so you said, can we come across the characters? That's up to you.
Okay.
You could be in One Piece in a whole different part of the world from Luffy's crew and stuff and never see them.
Okay.
And maybe you just enjoy the world of One Piece. I do have Frieren or Frieren. I've heard it pronounced both ways. For that D&D. And then I have Black Clover, which is similar.
Right.
But different magic rules kind of thing.
Right, because that's only grimoires.
Yeah.
From what we've seen.
You don't really see the Tolkien influence like you do in Frieren. Black Clover is just basically straight magic and magic users. So I wanted to include both on there because I do think fantasy has such a wide range that you kind of need a few fantasy. Just like JJK and My Hero were both urban, but vastly different. So Demon Slayer, JJK, My Hero, Naruto, One Piece, Frieren, and Black Clover. And Apothecary Diaries, I suppose. What world would you live in, Megan?
I would live in Frieren.
With no hesitation.
No hesitation. We're on episode 6. We just finished 5. Yeah. So we haven't seen a lot of it, but what I have seen, like, you can understand why it won Best Backdrop.
Yeah.
And, like, honestly, I would want to spend my days, like, reading in those, like, flower meadows or, like, the woods. Like, listen, I'm not about to be in Demon Slayer and get capped by a demon.
No, that's
like,
fair.
I have no survival instincts, and I feel like I have a better chance of surviving in Frieren's universe.
That's fair.
Than anything else.
Yeah. I do think Frieren would be my pick for world I would want to retire in.
Oh, that's so fair. See, I just want to retire right now.
That's so fair. I do think Frieren, obviously it's got like great space for adventure, right? Like they're fighting a dragon now, they fought the Demon King before. It's literally a D&D world. So there's space for adventure. The thing with like a D&D world though is I love playing D&D because I know that if I lived in this world, I wouldn't be adventuring or trying to make friends to form a party to go kill some goblins. I'd literally be a hobbit in his hobbit hole, drinking and eating all day long.
Like, give me the 11sies.
Why would you go, risk your life fighting Tiamat when you could just be snacking all day? So I do think Frieren would be like a really great space to live and retire for sure. As far as like where I'd want to like live in adventure kind of thing, my mind goes to One Piece right away because I love pirate stuff, obviously. But then I thought about it, and I was like, One Piece would honestly suck to live in if you're not a part of Luffy's crew or Shanks' crew. Because if you come across any other pirates, you're probably as strong as them or weaker than them. You might get wiped. It's terrible. If you come across Luffy and Shanks, you're definitely getting wiped because you're not matching them with shonen scaling. And then if you just aren't on a crew and you just live in this world, it sucks with, like, the world government being corrupt and the, like, celestial dragons, like, being horrible. And the fact that, like, you're one mistake away from entering the slave trade for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that sounds terrible. So One Piece would be cool, but, like, I know for a fact that I'm going to have a terrible life probably. Yeah. And I don't want to attempt that. My Hero, I know I would just get a dumb power probably.
You would.
And Naruto.
I feel like it'd be related to like, well, I don't know. Like, I feel like it'd be related to like something academia. Oh. Get it? Like some sort of like book or like writing. But like I also think of like size. Well, you're not like really
I'm not an
artist as much, but I kind of think of like his power a little bit for you just because it's like kind of a booky.
My Hero, I would. And then I love My Hero and the story of My Hero. I would just like, if I was in that world and had powers, I'd be like, bro, I don't want to be regulated on this. Let me just like do my thing. You know? So My Hero, no. Naruto, I love Naruto with a passion. That seems like a terrible world to be a part of.
100%. They're always fighting.
I would probably be one of the ones taken out by a paper bomb.
Yeah, you would be the one that Madara sticks the paper bomb on.
100%. JJK just seems stressful. So it's definitely between Demon Slayer and Black Clover for me.
Wow. Said wow.
Yeah. Because I think if you, like, the thing with Black Clover is it is part luck of what your grimoire is, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's what your power level is. But there is that academic side.
Right.
And that's what I love about, like, wizards and stuff is
Wait,
the studying of
pause.
spells.
Also, you should watch Wand and Wisteria.
I did watch Wand and Wisteria.
The whole thing?
I'd say, like, over half the episodes. Yeah.
You didn't finish it.
I finished it. I watched the second half of the episodes.
You did?
Because you started it, and I was like, whoa, what's this? And you're like, one story, and I caught an episode, and I was like, yo, this is clean.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. But I'm not huge on magic systems all the time.
Wait, so question, are we also choosing which power? So, like, are we choosing the world we would live in based on the power?
I mean, that's what I'm using for
That's
my
what you're
country.
using?
It's
Okay.
your choice. Do it how you want, dude.
Well, I was going to ask you as a follow-up question, like, out of these worlds, what power would you want? You don't necessarily have to live in there, but, like...
No, you gotta live in there. You gotta earn that.
You gotta
power.
earn that?
Yeah.
Oof.
So because I'm not always, like, 100% on liking magic systems, I would definitely go Demon Slayer. Because I think feudal Japan's an amazing... I love studying feudal Japan.
Yeah.
The katanas and, like, kimonos and everything are just so clean. And then it's also just, like, I feel like Demon Slayer is one of the ones where there's never, like... I guess we'd put Attack on Titan here, too. I know neither of us would pick it, because why would you pick Attack on Titan?
Why would you pick Attack on Titan? Only for Levi,
Demon
truly.
Slayer is one of the ones on here where it's, like, there is no gray area in terms of, like, good versus bad. It's straight up, we're humans.
True.
They're demons. We need to kill them.
Yeah.
It's not like JJK where Gato's like this complex character.
Yeah.
It's not like My Hero or Naruto or like even One Piece where it's like sometimes who's bad is kind of muddied, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just straight up like, I'm going to fight you because
Yeah.
I know I'm supposed to fight you.
I'm going to ask the question to myself of what power would I want? I think I would either go a grimoire from Black Clover because I think...
Or Sukuna's finger from JJK.
I would do so good. Or Sukuna... No. But that would be my other pick, though, is JJK with Cursed Energy.
The Cursed Energy.
Because it's so fun. Like...
It is cool. I just... Me personally, the rules for Cursed Energy...
Oh, they don't
make
make sense.
Gege Akutami did not flesh them out well enough.
They don't make sense.
So I'm like... I'd be like, okay, what's like the rules? And
yeah.
I'd be like, just do it. And I'd be like, no, what's the rule?
Yeah.
No, I think I would still go with Demon Slayer's breathing techniques.
That's fair.
I think those are so
They're
sweet.
fun.
Yeah. So you picked...
But imagine casting, like...
Fireball.
You're like domain expansion, total mutual love.
Domain expansion's
like,
sick for sure. Like 3 people can do it. Are you going to be the 4th?
You didn't get through calling games, did you?
I mean, everyone and their mom was whipping out domain expansion.
Yeah.
And calling. That's also why I hate calling games.
Okay, but we're not talking about that. We're just talking about Cursed Energy.
They were doing like basic domain expansion. They weren't doing perfect hit ones.
Right.
Which is like, when we talk about domain expansion, a perfect hit domain is a domain.
Goated.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, man, that lawyer dude's domain. I mean, it is a sick domain.
It's kind of a sick
But
domain.
I'm not going to be like, holding it up there with like Yuta or Gojo or like all these other ones, right? Like when I'm saying domain expansion, like it's sick. But you picked Frieren.
Yes.
What race would you want to be in Frieren?
Ooh.
/ class, because it's basically D&D.
Oh, it's authentic mutual love. See, I'm trying to get my facts right though. Anyway, what race would I want to be? I feel like this goes back to my D&D character sheet.
/ like class.
/ class.
But you've played, so we've done 2 campaigns so far.
Uh-huh.
You've been a gnome.
Well, I've been a Nelvin.
And now a tiefling.
Yes.
But it's like, you're living as this creature for life.
Yeah.
What would you pick?
That's a good question. Like, I immediately say elf because, like, I'm such a big fantasy reader. But, like, realistically, though, Frieren is adorable. But, like, she's, like, masking so much hurt and pain.
Would you want to live that long?
Right. And that's where I was getting to is, like, I don't know if I'd want to live that long.
Yeah.
Like, that's hard to watch, like, everyone that you...
Yeah, you can't
like,
make connections.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not an elf.
Not an elf. We've seen what? A dwarf?
Human. I'd say, like, honestly, since it is Tolkien inspired, you could throw in D&D classes for sure.
Okay. Just trying to get to something. The cat's making an appearance. Oh, buddy. Okay. You can ask for help.
So what's your race?
I'm a goofball. I think I would do half elf.
A half elf. So you got all the benefits and none of the cons. Such a cop out.
Hey.
What's your role in the party?
Druid.
Magic. Oh, you're going druid. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's still magic.
It is still magic. It's more of a focus on nature magic, which is that what you like?
Yeah. Because let's be honest, like, inner me would just love to be like a rogue or a fighter, but like,
you're not.
Be for real.
You're not a fighter.
Be for real.
You're not edgy enough.
I identify with Keyleth.
I was gonna say you're definitely a Keyleth for sure. Yeah.
Which also in anime, go watch Vox Machina if you like D&D.
Is it an anime? That's the big debate.
Is it?
Well, because I'm pretty sure anime is like Japanese.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you are into animated shows.
We talk animated in general. We're just talking nerd stuff here.
Yeah. Yeah, if you like animated shows in D&D,
Legend of Vox Machina.
Legend of Vox Machina on Prime is pretty good.
Yeah, so cool. I feel like those are some good answers. Demon Slayer, Frieren.
Yeah.
So awesome. We're gonna head to a quick break, and then we will be back for your anime news of the week. So sit tight. All right, and we're back for some anime news of the week. I did want to include on here. I don't want to go into it too much. There's a big list of live action anime that are being, and I figured that'd be something we could talk about. But it's one of those things too where a lot of them are so up in the air.
I see.
Last week we brought up Akira, how that's still moving forward. I think they're doing a sequel for Alita Battle Angel, which already had a live action. Naruto is doing live action. Solo Leveling.
Yeah.
But I also think those are things where I'm not sure how certain those are yet.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to convey them as news.
Yeah.
If it's nothing. I don't know enough about the production so far. And so...
well, it's interesting, too, because we were talking about live action. And we were like, what anime would you want as live action? Like, ever.
Ever, yeah.
You know? Because it's like, you already have it.
Yeah.
And it's just perfect. And the story's well done. The action sequences are great. Like, all the powers look good. So, if you have an anime that you want live action, let us know in the comments. Because I am curious about it.
So I think we should do a segment, though, of Naruto, Solo Leveling, all these others that are talking about getting live actions.
Yeah.
Even One Piece, they're about to do season 2. We should do a segment, though, on if it's needed, if it's good, if it'll be good kind of thing. And then if you guys have anime that you'd like to see live action, again, let us know. And we can
feel like I'm always in the camp of it's not needed.
Right. It most of the time is not needed.
We'll see. It's
interesting. I feel like the more fantasy heavy the anime is, the better it would be as a live action. Frieren, Black Clover, I think would be good live actions.
But the thing is, you also have to have a great budget for it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Are you getting the Lord of the Rings budget?
Right, but Lord of the Rings did show that you can do
for sure. For sure, yeah.
But Solo Leveling, I just don't know what
I just first of all, I think Hollywood needs to come up with its own original ideas. Yeah. But, secondly, and I just lost my point. Oh, yeah. I just struggle because it's I'm always going to compare it to the original. And it's it's just not as good. Yeah. It's missing something. So when it's missing something, I feel that's not worth my time.
Right.
There's so much media out there that's so good and so original that I can consume that I think I would do that more than watch a live action.
No, that's fair. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye out for live action discussions on a lot of these anime to kind of keep you guys up to date on them. But I just wanted to bring it up because there are a lot that are being... I feel like it's the most we're ever seeing anime being talked about as live action or being pushed for live action. So, so getting into news, I can do this first one since you love Solo Leveling.
Yeah.
And I know a little bit more about this. The Summer Hikaru died. This is a new horror anime that is premiering July 5th. I watched the trailer for it. The trailer is out now, so Go check it out. And it looks like very good.
Oh.
Like it looks creepy.
That's great.
I don't know what studio's doing it, but it does look like it's very solid. And I guess a lot of people are saying that the manga is pretty like scary, or the source material is, and so
because Uzumaki was one that didn't turn out, right?
Uzumaki was destined to fail because the studio wasn't giving the creators the resources needed to do it. That's why like the animation just dropped off sharply, and it just went downhill. Is because they were like, we're doing what we can with what we have, which is like insane because Junji Ito is a huge mangaka, and Uzumaki is one of probably the biggest horror manga, and so it's like, why would you not throw more? And it's again Adult Swim's anime studio,
which did Ninja Kamui.
And so they don't have a good track record so far. But yeah, Summer Hikaru died, premiering July 5th. If you like horror anime, check it out.
Yep. Solo Leveling's up next because it is the first anime to be #1 in every country globally.
Insane.
That is crazy. That's crazy. And like, I feel like there's always a debate around like, did it deserve it? Mm-hmm. Did it not? Like, it's tough because like, objectively, other animes are better. Right? But I still think because like people are watching it, they are enjoying it. Yeah. And like it is getting people into anime. So like I do think it deserves some credit for that, right?
I think it's hilarious because, and I'll preface by saying, obviously anime has no gender and you can like whatever you like regardless of your gender. But the way I see it is Solo Leveling is the boys' anime, and like Frieren is more like the girls' anime. Solo
Leveling has so much fan service.
Yeah, but that's why
for like both groups, I feel like.
Because like what Jinwoo like aura farming.
There's like a whole episode where he's like wearing the white tank top and like in a mine.
Right, that's fair. I guess I forgot about that.
Yeah,
but I do feel like Solo Leveling is one where it's like more so for guys that just want to see fights and turn their brain off kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like something like Frieren is like a little more complex. Like you talked about how she is, masking a lot of pain and stuff. And so I feel like that's stuff that like I know you really like more drama kind of anime, manga, manhwa stuff. And I feel like women in general tend to appreciate more like complex characters and better stories over like fan service at times. But that's just what I feel. I also just Solo Leveling is 1,000% all fan service.
Yeah, and it is.
When you're only focused on doing stuff so that people love your anime and not doing stuff to tell the story.
Yeah. I should probably talk about this later, but when we were watching Frieren earlier, I was thinking about this because Jinwoo and Frieren are both very nonchalant characters that don't show a lot of emotion.
Right.
But the thing about Frieren is like it shows her in the Mimic like twice because like that's her thing. Like it shows like little pockets of her personality.
Would have been a Jinwoo thing from the manhwa.
Kind of. Again, like he doesn't like super have a personality in the manhwa.
No, but it does like the chibi art where he gets cute or shy. Or, and that's what that was that she was doing.
Yeah. So I think like that's where Frieren definitely elevates.
Yeah.
Is like they still have a nonchalant character who doesn't have a lot of emotion. Like I think she has a lot of emotion. She's just masking them.
The thing is, like, I know if Frieren dies, I'm gonna be broken up.
Yeah.
I know if Jinwoo dies, I'm not gonna care in the slightest. I'm gonna be like, dang, that's crazy, and it was probably an amazing fight for him to go down. But I'm gonna be like, okay.
I think we watched one episode, and I cried twice
for Frieren. Yeah, like Frieren knows how to like tell a story.
Yeah,
and like but it is. I mean, Solo Leveling #1 worldwide, just in time for them to do a Olympics push.
In a few years, just in time, truly.
Next up, we got JJK. The movie is out now domestically in Japan. Voice actors and fans are reported crying after watching the movie. It's also noted that I believe the beginning of the movie has new Juju strolls.
Nice.
and then either the end or throughout has new content that we haven't seen before.
That's fun.
So it adds to their story a little more.
I love that.
Which I think like makes a lot of sense. So, like, what is it that?
Yeah.
They've been crying about something that was added, right?
Right. I really like. I mean, Gato's story is already just so sad.
Yeah.
If they expand on that, that will be depressing. And like,
do you think we get like a you were my brother Anakin type scene between Gojo and Gato? Like,
well, we already kind of had that in front of like, was it the KFC?
Right, where they had the standoff and he was going to right. Do they expand that a little more is what I'm wondering.
Well, I'm also wondering too, like, we don't really see how Gojo reacts after Gato like leaves. Like, we see his face when like Gato turns his back and walks away, but we don't like see him after that.
Yeah.
You know, like back at the school and stuff. So, yeah.
I mean, it's got to do with more with Gato leaving than like the plasma vessel dying, right?
Right. Yeah. I'll be curious too, because we've talked about if they'll add stuff from Gojo's childhood, because something switched in Gojo to like be a cold, what looks like a cold child, you know, to look up at the assassin and they're like, oh, shoot. Or look at Toji and notice his presence, to become like the carefree adult.
Yeah.
And like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
So.
Well, they both had that big switch in personality.
Yeah.
And so. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'm excited.
To be released. We need to go watch it when it comes out because.
I will say, like, JJK does have good characters.
Yeah, we were saying this the other day. The character design and then just characters in general.
They all have their own personalities, too, which, like, sometimes you just don't see that. Yeah. So, Maki could step on me. I just want to put in a plug for my girl, Maki.
Post-transformation Maki. What's it? Perfect preparation?
No, she could have stepped on me before then, honestly.
Bleach. So, it's been reported that the biggest surprise in all of Bleach is going to be happening in 1,000 Year Blood War Part 4, where a mysterious character arrives. I haven't read the manga, so I have no idea.
That's one that we should read.
What this will be. Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, 1,000 Year Blood War has been, like, peak for at least, like, Part 2, Part 3.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Part 4 is, like, gonna elevate it a lot more. So it'll be interesting to see for next year's awards. You know, we just came out of the awards for Crunchyroll, so keep that in the back of your mind. What is Bleach Part 4 gonna do that hopefully can get it some sort of like recognition. So big surprise. I think I've got another part on here. Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War Part 4 info and possibly a trailer will be released July 4th. So
exciting.
Big news coming.
I feel like you should do the next two.
Yeah, I can do these next two.
Yeah.
So One Piece, Emu versus Luffy is being teased for the next chapter. Emu is like the big bad.
Oh.
Yeah. So Emu is, if you remember I told you, the thing with the world government is there's this throne that's elevated and no one's supposed to sit on it to represent that no king is above another. Well, it was revealed a little bit ago that there is someone that sits upon that throne named Emu. And this person is like the head of everything.
Yeah.
Like the world nobles. I guess no one knows about him except the 5 elders, but the 5 elders like worship him basically. And the 5 elders are like revered by like everyone else. And so Emu is like the big villain kind of thing.
Interesting.
I sadly am a few chapters behind, and so I don't know the context surrounding why this fight is starting. So I definitely need to catch up knowing that. Because this is huge if Emu and Luffy are fighting. And then My Hero Season 8 info and possibly a trailer, also July 4th. I believe My Hero's final season, Season 8, will be October of this year. So that's another big one for the awards, is if My Hero can give a phenomenal final season to wrap it all up. I think the manga, when it ended, a lot of people had an issue with the ending.
Really?
Yeah, it was kind of controversial. So we'll see. That's like Demon Slayer for me, where I'm not going to read the manga because I want to see it live kind of thing. And so we'll see. I'll judge it when it happens.
All right. Well, Don Season 2 has extended fights and a quality increase. Is that quality increase in animation?
It just said quality increase. I'd assume animation for sure.
Which is interesting because I thought the animation looked really clean. From the snippets that I saw, I thought it looked clean. But I don't know.
I think the biggest thing we can take from this is that the studio is recognizing the push it's getting.
Yeah.
And it's putting a lot more into and behind it. And so, extending fights, fan service for sure. And then just increasing the quality means they're putting more resources into it. Whether it's more artists, more time, more writers, whatever it is. They recognize that fans are loving this and they're going to be pushing it, which...
That's great, then.
Again, it's really cool to see a random anime like this getting a big push.
Yeah. Another random anime? Question mark? Tom and Jerry is getting its own anime.
How do you feel about this? Because I know you're more Looney Tunes than Tom and Jerry growing up, but you're still a
My mom didn't like Tom and Jerry. I didn't
too violent.
I don't think my mom liked Tom and Jerry. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, it's kind of fun that it's coming back, I guess, and in a fun way. I'm interested to know, like, the thought process behind it. Like, who was like, we need a Tom and Jerry anime.
Yeah.
Like, because really, Tom and Jerry doesn't really, like, tell a story, necessarily. It's one-off episodes.
It's probably
and
like
shenanigans.
Directed at kids.
So...
they released the images of it. Did you like the...
It looked good, yeah.
It looked pretty good. It definitely looked more like chibi animation, kind of like that cutesy,
that's so true.
Heavy cartoony.
Yeah.
Do you think, unbiased, because like I said, you're big Looney Tunes, do you think Looney Tunes would have been a better choice to do in anime?
I don't know, because like Looney Tunes has so much content. I think Nickelodeon's been doing like...
Cartoon Network had like
Cartoon
the Looney
Network
Tunes show for
so like it's gotten Space Jam since then. It's like it's like Scooby-Doo. Like, how many different Scooby-Doo versions have there been? But Tom and Jerry's, I feel like, has always been just Tom and Jerry, unless I'm missing something.
They had the live action movie a few years ago, and then they did do like cartoon movies, like all those cartoons got. I think it makes sense to be an anime just because it's like Tom and Jerry's very wacky fighting and stuff.
Hi, Bonnie.
Oh.
Hi.
It's very wacky, like fighting and stuff like that. So I definitely think like
what's up?
It would make sense for it to be an anime because you can make some fun stuff. Another big IP getting a anime is the Death Stranding video game. Cool.
She just wants to be involved.
The Death Stranding video game is getting an anime. This is a sci-fi video game. It's not one I really played, but it did have a huge push when it came out. I don't know. My understanding is Death Stranding is not like super action heavy.
Yeah.
And it's very much, I think, like limited people. Like it's like one person basically isolated carrying out a mission.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. And so it'll be interesting to see how they make that something people will want to tune into.
Yeah.
I think the coolest thing though is both these are big IPs, and so for them to be expanding like this is really cool. One Piece, like I mentioned, live action stuff. One Piece live action season 2 airs 2026, and we got our first look at Tony Chopper.
How did you feel? Did you like it?
Yeah, I think it looks good.
Our cat is taking this time to be like the most chaotic. Hey,
she's tearing everything up.
Stop eating cardboard.
Terrible timing.
Hey, come on. Stop eating cardboard.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it looked good. I mean, this standard of Sonic live action definitely has the bar. Like,
I'm gonna take a pause so we can turn her toy on.
All right, sorry about that. We had to entertain our cat a little bit. But yeah, we're talking about Tony Chopper. I liked it. What did you think? I mean, you're like an unbiased outsider.
Honestly, I thought it looked good. Like, I really don't have any context, and honestly, like, I have no skin in the game.
Yeah.
So I'm not
gonna be mad if it's not
accurate or like doesn't look good. But as far as like CGI, like it didn't look bad.
No, I think it looked good. From what I'm seeing, everyone's happy with it.
Yeah.
I really haven't seen too many people upset with it. I did see one person said that it reminded them of Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy, which I was like, okay, I can kind of see that. Yeah, I think it looks good, which like I said, Chopper and then a few other people that are going to be in the season are going to be an indicator of basically what One Piece live action can accomplish.
Yeah.
Because we're starting to really see like the wacky designed characters. Like I said, someone turns into sand and all that stuff. And, you know, this is a deer person. And so I think if season 2 goes well, especially in terms of design, that One Piece live action's going to follow through and probably do everything. Because it's like, season 2, it's like there's the Alabasta arc, and this is huge. So if they pull it off well, then it's here to stay. So yeah, pretty exciting.
Cool. Well, switching gears here, Boruto was the #1 moneymaker for TV Tokyo, beating out Black Clover, Naruto, and Bleach. That's kind of crazy. It seems like.
That's wild.
Yeah. You told me a little bit about Boruto, just like some of the shonen scaling and different things, and that Sasuke's an absent father. So that's interesting to me because I mean Bleach on its own like is great.
Yeah, but I feel like Bleach is, my understanding is Bleach is very much constrained to its own fan base and not like like you don't really see people being like, hey, you should check out Bleach or get the newest Bleach chapter. They're just like, hey, Bleach is good, and then they're move on. Like they don't want to like sell you on. I've never had someone try and push Bleach on me. They're just like, yeah, we know our anime's good and our manga's good. We're not good.
Yeah. I mean, that's I think more
it
than
makes
some people
sense
can say.
Hearing this though, that why Boruto's being prioritized over Black Clover. Because if you remember, Black Clover's next season is getting like delayed a little bit, so Boruto anime can start pumping stuff out. And so I didn't realize people were so big into Boruto.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that's cool. One Piece, a lot of One Piece stuff this time.
A lot of One Piece stuff. We really should have grouped it, huh?
Yeah, for real. It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
So One Piece, following what's been happening with Kuma's backstory, there's been a trend going around on social media with fathers copying the Nika dance that Kuma's dad did for him, and that Kuma does for Jory Bonnie when she's sad. So
how sad are you on a scale of 1 to 10 right now?
I'm not sad.
Not with One Piece?
Like with like the anime?
Yeah.
I read the manga. Like so like I know how sad it gets. And I'll talk about this in our like weekly anime, but the episode we just watched was basically like the calm before the storm. It's gonna be so much worse. I think it is fun though seeing these videos and seeing like one, the impact that One Piece has. Like it's this random like thing that everyone's doing to copy the show. But it's also fun because in the show, like Nika represents like joy and freedom and laughter and like something for slaves to have hope in. Yeah. Because they have no hope. And I think it is cool to see the Nika dance like bringing joy and laughter to kids around the world, because it's just like, oh, that's exactly what Nika is in the anime. And so yeah, I think it's just a really cool, wholesome thing. Nice.
Well, Megan Thee Stallion's anime will be produced by Boondocks creator and will be on Amazon Prime. Yeah. I low-key I don't listen to her music. I love how much she loves anime and how well known it is that she loves anime. I think that's great.
Well, yeah, because she said that she loved anime and everyone was like, oh, probably just a basic, da-da-da-da-da. And then she was like spitting facts and everyone was like, yo, she kind of knows her stuff. Yeah, I think it's cool. Boondocks is I think it's done. It's like a black anime. Okay. Where believe like all the creating team is all black or like majority black, telling black stories, a black main cast. It's 2 young boys who live with their grandfather.
So is the anime about her?
I don't know what the anime is.
Okay.
About.
That's what I'm trying to look for right now.
But it is, I will say it is cool to see like more like black creators telling black stories, because I think some of the best anime we've ever had are black stories.
Yeah.
Afro Samurai, I know, is a huge one. Boondocks is huge. I don't know if Samurai Champloo is counted as one, but I know that's a big one. Sam Jackson is in Boondocks.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So we might see him in hers as well, which would be really cool. You looking up her anime?
No. I was looking up something that you did not include on our news list.
Oh.
That K-pop Demon Hunters is coming out.
I did not see
on
that
Netflix.
Anywhere. My bad.
I sent it to you. I sent the trailer to you, and I was like, we're going to watch this. It sounds fun. Netflix. It looks fun.
Netflix anime tend to do decent.
This is the synopsis. A world-renowned K-pop girl group balance their lives in the spotlight with their secret identities as demon hunters. And I believe they're going after a K-pop boy band.
That's right.
Who are demons.
Yes.
So if you're a K-pop fan, tune into that. It comes out this month, so June 20th, 2025. Just
before Lord of Mysteries.
What will be better? Truly.
Yeah, who knows?
I can't.
Solo leveling news. Streamer XQC. He's kind of like a streamer that
you're doing this for the world to see. Did you know that?
Have like the best takes.
Okay.
He's kind of known for that.
I was gonna say, like, this makes me feel sad for the manhwa author, because it's like they put so much time, and the art is so good. Like,
well, he's talking about the anime though. So
I understand that, but it's like,
it is, though. XQC called the solo leveling anime shit and the art lazy.
Yeah.
So now you can go on your rant.
But like, the anime is also adapted from the manhwa, right? So it's like it's taking inspiration from the original manhwa art.
I would say, sort of. Because reading like the manhwa's way better. The manhwa art's way better than the anime. So I don't know like the context behind him saying this, but if he is a huge fan of the manhwa and then watch the anime, I could easily see people being like, "Oh, dude, like the manhwa so much better. Like the fights look cleaner." Like, and so if that's what it is, I do think it is interesting though to see a big name calling out solo leveling like this.
Yeah.
In the midst of it having such a wild run.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see this like impact people's opinions on it?
No. I mean, it's already #1 globally.
Well, yeah, but if, you know, people are starting to hate on it verbally like this, and then we have to wait 3 years, like, is by the time season 3 comes out, is it just...
That's interesting. I don't know, like, that would make me sad because, like, I think you should appreciate solo leveling for what it is. Like, it's not, you know, like the most in-depth best story out there, but it's still fun to watch. Yeah. And I think, like, you can still appreciate it for that, but you can also acknowledge that, like, these fights are phenomenal. But, like, maybe the story's not the best. And that's okay. Like, you can still call it a good anime, you know? Yeah. So I would hate that for solo leveling if people just started turning on it because, like, truly it doesn't deserve that, in my opinion. Because, again, like, you can like it for what it is.
Yeah. I mean, you have said, though, that the anime isn't a good representation of the manhwa in terms of, like, they cut so much out in terms of, like, Jinwoo's personality. Yeah. And then the animation's not as good. And so I think it is fair, though, if people are, like, going to read the manhwa. I think it's fair if they're, like, you know, the anime isn't as good as we thought because they really...
but if they're doing that, then I hope they're reading the manhwa.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. And I think, like, it could be fair to accuse the studio of focusing too much on fan service. Yeah. And by doing so, cutting corners and dishonoring the writer of solo leveling.
I mean, the manhwa still has so much fan service.
Right. Yeah,
but, like, it's those little pockets of personality that are shown sometimes that are missing. Yeah. But I mean, it's not like... It's honestly still a pretty good manhwa to anime adaptation.
Yeah. You can do these last 3.
All right. JJK Season 3 new info, July 3rd. Are we excited? I'm excited.
It'll probably be a trailer.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited for first looks at Perfect Preparation.
Yeah. I think it'll be great.
I think Perfect Preparation is one of the best arcs in JJK.
That's fair.
And it's like maybe 10 chapters. But I think like everything that it sets up for the rest of the show is just so cool. Because you get Maki versus Zenin Clan.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the best parts of JJK.
Yeah. Fair. Chainsaw Man movie. Info on July 3rd.
Probably another trailer. That one's exciting. Like I said, I got into Chainsaw Man end of last year, earlier this year. I don't remember when I watched it. And I remember I was like, everyone talks about it. Like, they love it. I'm going to check it out. I pull it up on Crunchyroll, and it was like 13 episodes available. And I was like, there's only 13 episodes, and it's this big. Like,
That's actually it? Like, truly?
Yeah, there is not a lot to the anime yet, but everyone was obsessed with it.
That's great.
And so I'm excited for this because I'm hoping it starts to, like, gain some steam and traction for Chainsaw Man for them to start.
I mean, this little guy was in our, what is it, the claw machine?
Yeah, we went to a claw arcade.
Yeah. And then finally, last but not least, Kaiju number 8. Season 2 is scheduled for July 19 this year.
I think so. I can look it up. Season 2 release date. Oh, I believe 2025.
Hey.
It will be available worldwide right away too. I think
that's great.
They said. Dude, so that means we're gonna have that, and
so between now and then, we need to watch season 1 of Kaiju number 8, right?
No. Yeah, definitely. I was thinking June, because June 28 is Lord of Mysteries.
Oh, okay.
So I was thinking they were coming around the same time. This is July. So yeah,
definitely need to mark my calendar.
June. So Lord of Mysteries will probably. It's about 4 episodes. It'll be halfway, maybe. I don't know how many episodes they're planning, but I'm guessing when this comes out, Lord of Mysteries will be hitting its like stride.
Yeah.
So I hope it doesn't get washed up in the hype.
Yeah. Lord of Mysteries better like scratch my infernal devices itch.
It's gonna be another Ninja Con movie. There's way too much.
Stop.
There's way too much hype.
No. Don't say that. That's mean. Take it back.
We're going to do a quick break.
Okay.
And then we'll be back for some weekly anime for you guys. So sit tight. Welcome back, everybody, to weekly anime. It's awkward because we only have like 3 anime to talk about that we're like religiously watching new episodes each week.
Because we're really bad at this.
We're so bad. But I think what we'll do is once Vigilantes is done, I'll probably just record like a solo YouTube video review of it.
Yeah, that's so fair because I don't have anything. I could totally review Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian.
You can do that on YouTube as well. And then once, maybe like next, we'll find some time to grind Lazarus.
Yeah.
Because we need to do our review for that.
Yeah.
So, One Piece, though, we got Kuma and Ginny's love story. So we gotta see Kuma post God Valley. He's now a priest in the like South Sherbert Kingdom, where he grew up with his dad, and he is with Ginny, the woman he loves, and they get married.
And they live happily ever after.
That's the end of One Piece. He's the One Piece. She's the One Piece.
It's the love we find along the way.
No, you do start to see like some sad stuff because Kuma with his power can push pain out of people,
right?
But what it does is it forms a bubble because with like the how mass works, it can't just disappear, right? It has to go somewhere. And so what Kuma does as a priest is he has all the town's old people come to him. And he takes all their pain and he puts it in this big like bubble thing, and they're like, "Thank you, Kuma," and it's free of charge. He's just a great guy. And then they leave, and then we get to see Kuma take on their pain on himself. And it's very sad. And then Ginny obviously is hurting because she's watching her, husband do this, and it hurts her emotionally. And so it's definitely sad. It's interesting. So the king of this island that they live on, what he does is he cuts off the South. He says, you are no longer a part of our kingdom. You are your own kingdom. And the reason is because to be a part of the world government, countries have to contribute. They have to give tribute to the world nobles, essentially. Okay. And if they don't meet their tribute numbers, then they basically get enslaved. And so he cut off the South so that they weren't draining the resources. Because the South is big, where like all the old people are, not working and stuff. And so they weren't draining the resources on the rest of the kingdom. And this way the kingdom can thrive and pay their tribute. But the issue is because the South is now its own kingdom, it owes tribute and it has no revenue from the North to do that. So then the world government comes to enslave them. We start to see Kuma really realize the corruption in the world government. I mean, he was a child slave. He already knows how bad the system is. But now that he's seeing it happen to others around him that he cares about, it really sets him off. So Kuma joins Dragon, which is Luffy's dad, and Ivankov, which is Ginny's brother, and the three of them form the Revolutionary Army. So we get to see them form that, and they start to fight back against the world government. But the episode does end with Ginny being captured, which I've told you about.
Yeah.
What comes from that, and I will say that it is about to get very depressing. So, I'm pretty sure this last episode was legit called, something nice before bad or something. It legit acknowledged, we're getting a little bit of peace before it's about to get so much worse. So, yeah, I haven't seen a lot of people talking about One Piece, because, how they're feeling about Kuma's backstory.
Yeah.
If you don't know it, I could easily see it being bro, we're in the middle of an amazing fight on Egghead. Why does this matter? And I will say it does matter a lot because Kuma and Jewelry Bonnie's relationship actually has a huge impact on the events of Egghead coming up. So if you're oh my gosh, this is cool and I like learning about Kuma, but I want to get back to the fighting, this is all setting up for some amazing reveals that are going to happen. But I mean, it's also just great stories and more world building and very depressing. So yeah, One Piece going good.
It's great.
Like I said, I need to catch up on the manga though, because it sounds like that is hitting a whole new level of peak. Yeah.
Speaking of peak, the Apothecary Diaries.
Good segue.
If you're not already watching, first of all, how dare you? Second of all, you should. Third of all, there will be spoilers in what I'm about to talk about. So if you're not caught up on Apothecary Diaries quite yet, skip this section because the payoff's worth it. I'll tell you because we've already kind of talked.
We've already talked about it.
Yeah, we've talked about it. So yeah, Apothecary Diaries, every episode, it's more pieces of the puzzle are coming together. Right. And it's just phenomenal. So in the last week's episode, Mao Mao had gotten caught. They found the FIFA workshop. These FIFAs were used to try to assassinate Jinshi previously. So that's crazy. And so they're oh shoot, this clan's forming a rebellion.
Uchiha.
Okay. And now after she was caught, we see Shisui, the servant that Mao Mao was with.
Uchiha?
No. Who is actually the consort Laolin, who went missing from the Inner Palace. We found that out, I think, in last episode. They realized that she was gone. And they were when they were looking into this and looking into Mao's disappearance, they were the servant girl Shisui doesn't exist. We don't know who she is. So Laolin and Shisui, I hope I'm pronouncing their names right, they're the same person. I did not catch on to that at all. I don't know if that was mentioned, and I was just but they are the same person. And so we see Laolin actually kind of stick up for Mao Mao a little bit and in terms of she's not going to get killed right away. And is like, hey, like, she's an apothecary. She can replace our previous apothecary. So Mao Mao's at the stronghold now. And they're asking her to search for the, like, immortality, essentially, because Laolan's mom is insane. So that happened. That was kind of crazy because, again, like, these pieces are coming together with the people who are missing, with Mao Mao's disappearance. And then it cuts to the inner palace, and we see that they're realizing that there's this rebellion that's being planned because the price of iron, I think it's the price of iron went up. And then they've noticed, like, a stockpile, I want to say, of wheat as well. And so they backtrack that and notice how long it's been going on. Mao Mao's actual dad bursts onto the scene because he's the master strategist at the inner palace, and he's like, get your head down, Jinshi, and find my daughter. But then Mao Mao's adoptive father shows up, and he's like, listen, show some respect. So we see her dad actually apologize to Jinshi, which is crazy because her dad's pretty egotistical.
Right.
But that also leads into Jinshi's true identity. And so I'm very excited for next week's episode because Jinshi's been hiding his identity for so long. And
He's starting to come out about it.
Yeah, but, like, it's not his choice. And so the whole reason for him being a eunuch was he didn't want to, nor was ready to step into his true role, which is the Moon Prince.
Ooh.
And so we're seeing him being pushed into that. And it's one of those things where it's like, no matter how much you avoid it, it's always going to come back to you. And so, yeah, I think we're going to start seeing Jinshi step into that role. I'm really, really wanting to read the light novels now. So bad.
So I was pulling up some stuff on it because I was like, okay, it's like getting peak. Like,
it's getting so peak.
Wrapping up or
no?
So the manga's still going.
Yeah.
There's about like 15 volumes.
Yep. I think we're at volume 4. Like, season 2 will end on volume 4.
Season 1 did the first 2 volumes. So, like, yeah, this is very much probably like 3. Yeah. Definitely 3, maybe 4 volumes done, and it's on hiatus right now. So they're gonna keep going. So that's insane that, like, it feels like so much is being revealed.
Right.
And it's like the first third of the manga still. Like, what else is there to do? I know, and I don't know because I haven't read it. Yeah. So, big fan, I guess. Do you think you're just going to give in and read it since it's so far behind? I think I'll probably give in and read it. Because with My Hero, like, it's about to finish. Right. Demon Slayer, it's about to finish. So it's like, it's worth it for the wait. But, like, this, it's like, bro, you're like 13 volumes behind. Right. And I want to get all the light volumes, like, printed copies so they can just look pretty on our shelf. Add it to your True Beauty collaboration collection. I mean, it would be light novels, though. Those are manhwa. Yeah. You get the actual books. Yeah. Just do it all. Yeah, that's crazy, though. It's exciting. Yeah. So you should watch it. I'm planning to. And the listeners. But me more so. But you more so because I'm pointedly looking at you. Moving on, To Be Hero X. Insane. I think I cried. Guys, it's peak. It's so good. Guys, please watch it. It's so good. No, this newest episode was definitely like we're still on Lucky Cyan's story. I love her. You can't have this episode without the previous episode, right? So like you can't just jump in, obviously. Was this episode better than her first episode? Ooh. I'm trying to think. I know. Because I'm thinking back on this episode, and it did definitely like make me sad and cry, but just something about her first episode just really was like, this is beautiful. Yeah. I think that's fair. This episode, and like... This episode's setting up a lot. It's setting up a lot, but also, can we just talk about how shocking To Be Hero X is? Like, every episode, maybe not every, but in every story that's being told throughout this anime, my mouth is dropping. At least, like, once or twice, because it's like, excuse me? Yeah. Did that actually just happen? I mean, to be fair, like, To Be Hero X is the third... series in the anthology. Yeah. So like they've had 2 chances to like work on it, and now they're like, all right, we know how to make the greatest anime of all time. Like this is just it's phenomenal. It's so creative. I might have said this in like one of our previous episodes. If you watched Big Hero 6 and you were like, man, I want more of like this world and these vibes, 2B Hero X reminds me so much of that. The animation's very similar, that 3D kind of animation that Big Hero 6 had. But also just kind of like the stories. But yeah, Lucky Cyan's story continues to just get more and more depressing.
Yeah. So in this, do we want to like kind of recap the episode?
Yeah, do you want to do a recap?
Yeah. So in this episode, it starts back off where her and her friend are trying to escape the orphanage. And the administrator comes out and uses his power.
It starts with him giving her the guitar and showing his song.
Yeah.
So it gives some background before the escape.
Yeah.
And then the escape.
Yeah. And some foreshadowing, too, of like what she'll become. And so we kind of see the admin's powers a little bit, which is almost like...
Tentacles.
Invisible
tentacles.
Yeah.
Invisalign.
Like Doc Ock, but like you can't see him. The tentacles, that is.
It was basically telekinesis.
Yeah. It was interesting. So we see them about to escape, and they get caught by the admin, right? And then her friend distracts the admin so she can escape. And he's like, go, run, like, get out of here. And he holds...
Can we also talk about... Shout out Cyan for not hesitating for a second.
No, for real.
The amount of times I watch stuff and this dude's like sacrificing himself and he's like, go, run away. And you see like the hesitation on the person and they're like, no, I'll save you or whatever. But she was like, I'm out of here. Like, honestly, props to her for like being like, if he's going to sacrifice himself, I'm not going to wait around and risk.
And he sacrifices himself. This kid holds the admin in place as a delivery truck runs through and, like, hits them.
Well, do you remember what the kid said to him beforehand?
No, I don't remember.
Because the guy is still, like, he pushes off, the orphan director pushes him off, and he's, like, about to shoot his tentacle to, like, grab Cyan. And the kid grabs him again, and he goes, you forgot about your jinx, or whatever. You're worried about the wrong jinx or something. Because the kid's unlucky is his power.
Right.
And so because the truck was, like, crashing, because of Cyan's luck, it ended up hitting the kid because of his unluck.
Yeah.
And because he's holding on to the director, which, I mean, the director technically saved him.
He did, yeah.
By saving himself.
Yeah. So Cyan leaves the orphanage. The only thing she has with her is the guitar.
That he gave her.
And she starts singing, busking. And eventually people, start loving her music first.
And they recognize her.
And then they recognize her for being the saint. And that's, like...
blows her up as a pop star.
Yeah. But also, like, she didn't want to be recognized for that. And people do start coming to her street performances, like, wanting a blessing and, like, hanging out for a blessing. And she sees this and she runs away. And that's when she's accosted by the lady with the business card. Accosted.
The hero agent wanted to make her a hero.
Yeah. Yep. And so at the end of the episode, we see her concert. And that's the concert that Isol's friend was at. The 3 chairs.
Mm-hmm. Well... that wasn't the concert.
It wasn't that one?
No.
I thought it was
the
that
stage
one.
was different.
Oh.
She plays the song that her friend made at Isol's
I
friends.
see. Okay. So we see her debut concert then.
Probably, something like that. Yeah, because she said it's been a while since I've been on stage.
And then her friend hears it over the radio, and we see him in an empty room with just the radio. But broken. And then the admin comes in. He whispers something in his ear. We don't know what. And then it cuts away. I think it cuts back to Cyan in her concert, and she plays that song that he wrote. And then it cuts back to the orphanage, and everyone in that courtyard, like, looks like a zombie.
Well, it's important to note when she plays, there's, like, green bubbles that float around. And when it cut to the orphanage, there were, like, red bubbles.
Yeah.
Like, possessing people. And so it seems like it's probably his power, the
boys. And so I'm thinking that the admin said something to set him off.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm...
which is funny because I literally was like, oh my gosh, what if the boy becomes a villain?
Yeah.
And it shows that, and I was like, oh, I'm so mad that I was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good episode. It was one of those ones where it ends and you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
It's an episode that sets up for the next thing, so like it's probably not going to be like a top episode for you because it's all just like setting up stuff.
But it was still so good.
Oh, so the music for To Be Hero X in general has just been phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, when one of your heroes is literally a musician, though, like you have to live up to that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it'll be interesting to see her as a hero.
I don't know how long her arc goes. This next one could be the finale.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see her as a hero because we really haven't seen that yet. We've seen her powers, but we haven't. Yeah, as a hero, we haven't seen how her powers work. Yeah, so
that's exciting. Other big news for To Be Hero X is on the hero rankings on the official website, Nice and Lin Ling have combined as number 10 hero. Now, it's important to note that these rankings are the rankings from the show. Mm-hmm. So, Nice wasn't in the top 10 until the end of his arc when he entered top 10. It was the dude that stood up.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of cool because it's telling some of the story off screen.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, something's happening right now that you don't know about, but these two are now recognized as combined. On the fan voting that you can do at home, they are still two separate heroes, so I'm not sure what they plan to do with that, either for this season or for season 2, if they're being recognized as the same person, but in voting, they're two people.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, too, because we saw after the Easel fight, they were like, oh, the two Easel's trust values combined.
Yeah.
And so it's like, are you saying that Nice's and Lin Ling's combined? Like, when Lin Ling was like, I'm Lin Ling and not Nice, did he kill Nice? Like,
yeah, I think it's like, because you got to think, if people perceive Nice and Lin Ling as two people, their trust values are going to be different.
Right.
And that's why the two Easels had different ones. Once public perception of them views, okay, Nice is Lin Ling is Nice, then we see that combination.
Yeah.
And so it's essentially Iron Man at the end of Iron Man saying, I am Iron Man. And everyone's like, oh, now the hero Iron Man
and Tony Stark
and the public figure Tony Stark are now the same person in our mind. So yeah, I think it's showing that he's a hero without a secret identity, essentially. Yeah. To say you believe in Lin Ling is to say you believe in Nice and vice versa.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool, subtle thing that they did that, like...
I love their marketing.
Oh my god.
I'm just going to come out and say it. It's great.
One of, like, I think To Be Hero X is one of the best anime right now in terms of, like, for the fans.
Yeah.
Like, it does tell its story, which is very important, but it's also, like, it's just so immersive.
It's so immersive, and I think that that's the point, right? Because this whole time we've been talking about trust value and, like, social media, really, of like, who do you give your power to?
Yeah.
And so I think it leans into that, and, like,
just... Like, you find yourself rooting for people on the show much more.
You do.
Like, in the double Easel fight, I was on the edge of my seat because I loved his character.
You rewatched it.
I rewatched it, like, twice now. And it's like... There's definitely anime where you fall in love with a character and you're sad when they die, right? But this feels one where it's like, when they die, it feels like they're, like, dead in the real world almost.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, it's so immersive that you forget that you're watching a show and you're not, like, a part of it, but we are a part of it, which is just...
crazy.
I hope that they see huge, like, returns off this, because it would be so cool to have at least one anime a year like this. To just a fun summer thing to be a part of, you know?
It is, yeah. Yeah. I feel like there's so many lessons in it, honestly.
It's a great commentary,
yeah. It's a great commentary, yeah.
Yeah, so To Be Hero X, I'm feeling like Lucky Cyan might finish up next episode.
Yeah.
We get 24 total.
Okay.
We have 8, 9, 10. We have 10 episodes so far, I think.
Jeez.
So it's like, if they're going to start really showing a lot more, at least even just one-off episodes, they're going to need to start shortening how many. So I don't want it to end, but it feels like it's going to.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So yeah, make sure you check out To Be Hero X.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to head to one final break, and then we'll be back for a Frieren review to wrap up the episode.
Yeah.
So, sit tight. Alright, guys. Welcome back to our Frieren review.
Mm-hmm.
We did start Frieren.
We did.
Post-awards.
We're only 4 episodes in, so this will
episodes.
kind of be a series, right?
5 episodes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll do like a full review when it's done. We'll probably do like a full review of To Be Hero X once it's done, once you have the full picture. But we did want to talk about Frieren in the light of the awards and a lot of people's, a lot of people being upset that it didn't beat Solo Leveling in a lot of stuff, and we wanted to see what people were talking about, and I think it's safe to say that we can agree with a lot of people.
We get it.
Yeah,
we get
it.
At the very least, Frieren should have gotten best outro. Like, come on. No outro. I am not all right. Thank you for asking at the end of each episode.
I can't even tell you like what the Solo Leveling outros were.
It's Jinu's feet in the second season.
And it was like the creepy like TV and stuff in the first season.
Yeah.
It was like an insane asylum. I don't get that at all. That's such a weird...
Yeah. I mean, I know it's probably, like a minimal category? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but, like, I've literally seen people, like, pointing out, one, how beautiful Frieren's outro is. But also, like, that the outro 1 and outro 2 are connected. Which you don't see that often for, like, anime.
Yeah.
And so, they're intentional with their outro, it seems.
Yeah.
Well, Solo Leveling, like, I feel like the outro was what people hated the most because it meant the episode was over.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, outro definitely.
Yeah.
Do we think Frieren should have won Best Anime?
Because there's Anime of the Year and then there's another Best New Anime.
Was it up for Best New?
Yeah. Yep, because Solo Leveling took both. That is a great question. I
know it won drama.
Right. I don't hate that Solo Leveling was Anime of the Year sheerly because of the viewership impact. Like, but I do wish Frieren would have got Best New Anime.
Yeah, it was up for Best New Series.
Yeah. I think it deserved one or the other, but I understand... Like, obviously, it's a popularity contest at the end of the day. But I will say, like, again, you know, Solo Leveling had such an impact on viewership, and, like, it is #1 globally, and you can't just bat your eye at that, I guess. And so I still get that, but I do think Frieren should have gotten at least Best New Anime.
Now, we are only 5 episodes in. We've seen snippets of what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
Should it have beaten Demon Slayer for Best Animation?
Ooh.
Keep in mind, I think this is just like training arc Demon Slayer. So you're really comparing the season finale of Demon Slayer
That's
to
true.
all of Frieren.
I think if it was up against Entertainment District, then no. Because Entertainment District is just...
episode after episode is great animation. Yeah. But you think because it's just the one moves on.
I feel like I do need to see more Frieren to make a decision. Like, Backdrop, 100%.
Yeah.
Of course.
But, I mean, we've seen some of, like, the beautiful animation when, like, her or Fern are, like, casting spells.
That's true.
Right. And that's, like, pretty low-key stuff. When they fought the one dude that they woke up from his slumber in, like, episode 3 or 4, like, that was a very minimal fight, but, like, that still looked cool.
Yeah.
And these are nowhere near as peak as Frieren gets.
Right.
So do you want to hold off on that?
I'm going to hold off on that until we finish. But I'm excited. I'm really excited to keep watching it. Like, they're building such a good story.
Best character design over Frieren.
Ooh. Well, Dandadan also, I don't know, they had some really unique...
I would say Dandadan was unique. Frieren was just a fantasy.
Yeah.
There's nothing unique about it. They had great character design for sure, but it's nothing where it's like, I've never seen something like this before.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen, like, an egg-looking alien with a robotic penis. Or a ghost put into a what's the waving cat thing? Like,
I don't know.
The character designs for Dawn to Dawn are very, like, whoa.
They're distinctive?
Yeah,
maybe that's the word?
Very memorable.
Yeah. Frieren's adorable, though. Don't get me wrong.
Do you think Frieren should have been up for Best Romance?
That's another one where I think I need to see more of it, because I only know that because of the snippets and, like, the stuff that I've seen online.
But, like, we're 5 episodes in. All of this revolves around her relationship with Himmel, the hero. Everything.
That's true.
Like,
it's already
you cannot tell me there's not romance in this.
Yeah. It's already a beautiful story, like, because we were watching it and I was like, this feels like Himmel's story as much as it feels like Frieren's.
I think, so Demon Slayer won Best Continuing Series. I wonder if it'll be eligible for that with the movies.
Yeah.
It's not a series at that point. It's just a movie.
I don't know how these categories work.
Right. I could see Frieren, if it continues its, like, momentum, that it could start to take.
Yeah.
Especially if Solo Leveling is going to take a break for a little bit. That means Frieren can easily take up a lot of these.
Yeah.
That Solo Leveling had. I think it'll be between, like, between Dawn to Dawn and Frieren for a lot of, like, the continuing stuff. Kaiju number 8 season 2 might be elite. Who knows?
Sakamoto Days Part 2.
Sakamoto Days Part 2. Lord of Mysteries will be interesting to see what it does in the animation categories and stuff. But I feel like Solo Leveling backing out, like losing the hype because it's not going to have a new season, will open the door for Frieren to get more respect.
Do you like Frieren?
I love Frieren.
Do you really?
Yeah, I love Frieren. I'm not huge for fantasy stuff. I have to be in the mood for it, and I love
I was worried you'd think it would be a little slow.
No. It's like you said, it reminds me a lot of Studio Ghibli movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much something where, like, not the animation so much, but just, like, the pacing and the storytelling, and even the characters. If you were to tell me Miyazaki was in the room helping create this, I'd probably believe it.
Yeah.
Because why would you lie to me? But no, I think there's just something about it that, like, they're walking through, like, the woods, just talking, and I'm just like, I feel so at peace. Yeah. And, like, I'm just, like, it's
so true.
It's just, that's why I said, like, this is a world I'd want to retire in, because just watching it makes me, like...
Like, there was a freaking tortoise with, like, flowers on its shell.
They spent a whole episode
trying to
learn how to make a flower.
No, they located the flower because of, like, the
they had to learn how to make it by locating the flower. Yeah.
What were they? They weren't squirrels, but you know what I mean.
It's like, what does it remind me of? It reminds me of an anime very similar, where it's like this whole episode, I guess maybe like Sakamoto Days, where it's like this whole episode was them at the spa, and it was one of the best episodes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah.
It's just fun.
Background animation, like you said, is phenomenal.
I really I think character development will be peak. Mm-hmm. Because you can already see, like, pockets of it between Fern, but also, like, Frieren herself is, like, when you first look at her, you're like, oh, she's kind of a cold, aloof elf, like, when she first leaves her party, and is with the party, because she's like, I don't know much about them, but then...
She's getting gifts for Fern.
She's getting gifts for Fern, like, she spent so much time picking it out. She's, like, asking around town where to, like, find the best desserts. Yeah. She's found Himmel's flower that he mentioned once, I think.
I also think it's a very good creative choice to focus on a fantasy story from the point of view of the elf, because we never get that. We never get the point of view of, you know, how does Legolas feel having lived so long and seeing so many people come and go. And, like, you can even see that, like, in Lord of the Rings, how Legolas isn't the type to, like, make friendships right away. Like, he pushes Gimli away. He's just here to do a job kind of thing. And then you see him, like, soften up. Yeah. Because, like, you know, he just wears him down. And so it is really cool to see this. And I think it also allows for amazing chances for character development. Like you were saying with Fern. Because we have seen her since she was a little girl. And now she's a teenager. And we'll probably see her into adulthood. and we will probably see Frieren die.
You think?
Of old age.
Yeah.
I don't think she'll die of battlefield. I think she'll die of old age.
Yeah.
And I think we will have to, because I think the way they're telling this story is so that by the end of whatever they're telling, we feel like Frieren, where we have watched people like Fern's whole life pass them, and then also watch them pass on.
Yeah.
And we have to continue on without them.
Yeah.
So that we can get to this point where we can be like, oh my gosh, remember in the beginning of Frieren where she felt cold and distant, and like, it's because of stuff like this, right?
Like she can't let herself get close, right? Like
her party we saw that killed the Demon King, guarantee it wasn't her first party. She probably had people way before that she was like, she saw die, and that's why she was kind of cold going into this party.
And she was like, we've only been together a decade. Like, that's a short amount of time for her.
I'll see you in 50 years.
Yeah, I'll see you in 50 years. And I think we're also seeing her realize, like, what the passage of time means, especially with Himmel's death.
What I love about the show is I think it's a wonderful story and, like, message of what's your legacy. What story are you leaving behind? Because we essentially get to ride alongside a character who time travels through passages of time.
Yeah.
Right. Like, we're seeing her get to see Himmel make a name for himself, the people's reaction, and then how people feel about this a century later almost.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I think we're like, 30 years past his death at this point?
Yeah.
His death. Not when he was an active hero, mind you, because he died of old age. And so, like, 30 plus years since he's been actively saving people and being out there and doing these things. And we're still seeing this. I mean, even that one old lady was like, I wish someone could clean his statue.
Yeah.
Because he saved my life one time, and now I've dedicated my life to honoring the statue. And so I think it's just, at least for me, it's one where I watch it and I'm like, what's the legacy I'm leaving behind? So that if I had someone walking alongside me that, you know, like Frieren and Elf, who would continue past me, where would they see my footsteps throughout the people I've interacted with? Yeah. And so
I think
it's fresh. It feels fresh.
Yeah. What I like about Frieren is, like, it feels like each piece of dialogue matters. So the one that it's not a background show. So the one that I'm thinking of is she loves collecting spells, and Fern was like, we found one that turns grapes sour, and then you find out that the
which
dwarf
was a throwaway. It was a comedic line.
It was like, why would she want that?
It showed Fern, I think, like puckering because of a sour grape.
But then you find out that the dwarf in her party loved sour grapes. That was his favorite food. And so it's like, she's always, I feel like she really is always thinking about other people. Yeah. In that sense.
And I think that's another, like, if you're going to try and pull off this time travel throughout, you know, we're going throughout time kind of thing, you have to do it really well. Yeah. And they are doing it really well. Where you're placing essentially, like you said, Easter eggs for people to pick up throughout the story, where it's like, oh, she's doing this thing. Oh my gosh, because of this person. Yeah. Oh, she did that. Whoa, we're seeing this person. Like, the amount of times where it shows a character and then it shows a flashback to, like, a little child, and you're like, oh my gosh, that was that child from this event. Yeah. And so it does a really good job of, like, setting itself up between the past and present, that it's like, it's one of those things where it's not quite a time travel movie, obviously, but it's like the way that it balances past and present, you're just like, this is so well written. Yeah. It's so satisfying. Sung Jinwoo versus Frieren, best main character.
I mean, Frieren, I think. 100%.
I don't know why Jinwoo won best.
I think that was the category that made me upset the most.
That one was so frustrating.
And again, I like Solo Leveling for what it is, but I think when you're looking at best character, you do want someone who is more in depth and is showing personality and, like, has a chance for character growth. Right. And from reading the manga, Gino doesn't. Like, he just doesn't. And that's a fact.
And I don't know if my rant was on the podcast or off the podcast, but if you were going to tell me that this is the best main character out of all the anime main characters, you do not get to complain about an episode dedicated to character development. Yeah. If you are wanting to say that this person right here is the best MC when it comes to just fan service, design, personality, fighting, like this is someone that I want to watch, right? Then that does not mean you also get to have your most hated episode, not counting recap episodes, because recap episodes are always the most hated, but your most hated, like, canon episode be solely dedicated to this character's development.
And emotions.
Because then you don't care about that character. You don't. His mother came back. He essentially became Hokage, met his life's dream in the middle of the second season of his show, and nobody cared.
Yeah.
That'd be like if Naruto pulled off becoming the Hokage at the end of, like, part 1, and everyone's like, man, that was a terrible episode.
Yeah.
So you don't care about, like, this is his whole dream. This is, man, right. You could argue that he's, you know, maybe moved past that and he's searching for more and more power, but I think that's an argument that comes because he's accomplished his dream of saving his mom.
Right.
Everything has been about the demon castle and getting to the top so he can get the cure so he can save his mom.
Yeah.
He did that, check, okay, now I can just go be goated.
Yeah.
So that's what frustrates me the most about Jinwoo winning main character. Yeah. We can argue all day if he deserved it. I don't care. But you can't say and give him this award while also not enjoying and hating on the fact that he has emotions. Right. He's got goals. He's got loved ones.
Right.
So.
And I think that's the most important part of a character.
Yeah.
Because that, like, dictates all of their motives.
And to say best main character is definitely subjective, especially when fans are voting for this. Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, we can all agree that the best main character also has the best writing. Yeah. Because they're not going to be a top character if they're just written poorly. Yeah. And you don't get good writing without development, like you were saying. Right. And so that is one. We're 5 episodes into Frieren, and I can confidently say she's a better main character. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Who are the others up for this?
I think Mao Mao was on there. I love Mao Mao.
Mao Mao, Momo. Okay. Momo from Dawn to Dawn. Okurun from Dawn to Dawn. Those are the boy and girl from Dawn to Dawn. And then Kaiju number 8's main character. I did hear that, like, episode 7 of Dawn to Dawn, like, breaks people. But I don't think that's about one of the main characters. I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
I think it's like one of the ghosts.
Are you going to finish that show?
I need to. I keep saying that because I want someone to hold me accountable. I need to. I think I'll finish it before season 2 because I want to do season 2 for one of my weeklies. And I don't think Kaiju number 8, at least. I don't think Dawn to Dawn or Kaiju number 8 this young is going to have a best main character. I could see them getting to that point a few seasons in for sure because they're already building up both shows really well. But Frieren came out the gate with a character and story that just breaks you.
Like I said, I love Mao Mao. She's probably one of my favorite main characters. Like, favorite. Okay. She's perfect.
So Mao Mao versus Frieren.
I would still choose Frieren. Okay. And that's what I was getting to is, like, I think, like, you'll see more character development out of Mao Mao as time goes on. Her personality traits are just so, like, iconic and funny. And, like, again, I love her. One of my favorite, like, female leads in any piece of literature. But I still think Frieren's, like, objectively the better main character because of everything that we just talked about.
I would say the difference, and this is what would come down to, I think it's fair to say either one can be the best main character.
I think so too.
I think the difference between them and what you prefer is what's going to be your choice is Frieren is someone that there is still so much for us to unlock about her. Mao Mao is someone that there's still so much for her to learn about herself.
I think that's fair.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
With Frieren, and I think, obviously Frieren can learn new things, but I think Frieren is someone that as we go on, we're seeing more of who she is as she's, like, unlocking her emotions. And all, you live for so long, there's not much else that she can learn about mental health and emotions. And she's been through the ringer, right? Mao Mao's a child who is going through a lot of crazy things, and we get to walk alongside her, watching her grow. And essentially, when you're raising a teenager, right, you get to walk alongside them and see them grow into their adulthood, into their young adulthood kind of thing. And so, I mean, that's the difference. Do you prefer a character who is fleshed out and is slowly, like, you think of it where it's like, Frieren's fleshed out, and we're slowly unlocking that and learning about it. Yeah. Or Mao Mao isn't fleshed out, and we're watching her build her piece, her sculpture kind of thing.
Yeah. That's an interesting one. I think I like Frieren because, like, we're seeing her emotions. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't get that as much with Mao Mao. Like, you'll see it when there was a courtesan from the entertainment district that got her freedom. Mm-hmm. And I think this is at the end of season 1. Mm-hmm. Is like she does a dance on the palace wall to honor that. Yeah. And I love those Mao Mao moments because they're so like few and far between, and they just show so much about her, and it's just like they're just beautiful. But again, I think like objectively speaking, I do think Frieren.
Yeah, I feel like the Frieren moments are almost more rewarding. Because when Fern was like, she's been getting me a birthday gift every year. That was something where we're like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. I love that. Yeah. Like, our girl is, emotionally healthy. When Mao Mao, like when she solved the puzzle, the colorblind puzzle at the, the doors and stuff, that's not something where you're just like, you're definitely proud of her, and you're like, heck yeah, but you're like hyped for her kind of thing.
You're more hyped for her because it's like when Ginu wins a fight, it's like, yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. Like that's just how she rolls. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not to say that it's not like
fun to watch.
I love her deductive skills.
When he wears his Hokage cloak with the neck piece and all that.
No, I like Mao Mao better than Ginu. I'm sorry for comparing them.
No, Gene was it's a popularity contest.
It's a popularity contest for sure.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
But I mean, we haven't said much about what we like about Frieren. You could probably pick up on it from our points we've made so far. Yeah. I think just to wrap all this up into a simple thing, we love Frieren so far in the show. We think it's beautiful. There's nothing to not like about it so far. Yeah. And I'm just speaking for both of us, but I assume you. I, for one, don't want to like start making too many judgments on it.
I know.
So, but I will say everything I've seen so far,
and the way that it feels like it's going,
it's like I love. So I can see this definitely being one of our top anime for the year, and that'll be something come end of year. We'll probably do a bonus episode about our top anime.
Oh, for the year. I didn't know that. Now I gotta start thinking. Now I gotta start watching.
Gorilla God's go-to girl.
I did make a list for us on notes. It wouldn't let me share it with you, though, unfortunately. But it's the anime that we've said that we're going to watch.
So we can hold ourselves accountable. Well, that is Frieren in our views so far. Mm-hmm. We've got a lot of anime we've got to get to watching, so we better go do that. Sad to say, there won't be a bonus episode this week. Mm-hmm. We've got one planned out that we want to do, but there's some anime that we need to finish watching before we do it for you. Yeah. We don't want to spoil it too much, so be excited. But no bonus this week, so no episode Thursday. Hoping to pull this bonus off. You think next week, maybe?
You think next week?
We gotta grind on it.
Jeremiah.
I know.
Oh my gosh. What? Okay, listen. What episode of Naruto are we on right now?
Well, I don't think we're finishing Naruto.
Oh, okay. Well, I also said Black Clover.
Okay, now you're spoiling too much. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, like, follow, leave a comment, tell your friends, tell your dentist, tell your orthopedic, if you have one.
What's an orthopedic? Tell your orthopedic.
Tell your garbage man. Share it with people. Bother people around about it.
Don't be annoying.
We'll catch you next time.